Hello all, welcome back to Winter Does Stuff, where we react to some crazy stuff. Sorry about my voice right now, it's fairly low and I have actually no idea what's going on with it. Today, we have the Oblivious and their track, You Hate What You Don't Understand, featuring Moon to Moon. This is really interesting because it is about 2.5 years ago that I reacted to this artist before now. I reacted to the song, wow, my hair is very weird right now. I need to get it trimmed. I do apologize about that. But yeah, I reacted to the title track of the album that is currently coming soon / still in progress, entitled Tomorrow is a Better Day. This has been an album that has been in the recording and planning writing stages for fucking ever, to put it very, very bluntly. And it's one of those projects where I'm excited for it because I've been a friend of the Oblivious, and you know, they're known as Ember in my community, also known as Pablo. And I've just been pretty excited for this collection to release. I believe it's still slated for 17 tracks across the album, which is nuts. But there's also a bunch of other stuff coming, including a collection called Overthought, which should be releasing, I believe it's sometime within the next couple months, or at least like 2026. So hold on. And it's one of those things where, at least out of what I was told, the project kind of ballooned in terms of scope. Like, it was intended to be just this album for a while there, but then it turned into something way bigger, which is very similar to what happened with me in my project, The Reminiscent Story, which was just Reminiscent Desolation, but then Broken Visage, then... yeah, not going to talk about my stuff here, though. So, what we're going to do is we are going to like the video. You guys should do that for more often. And we're going to get into this. This is entitled You Hate What You Don't Understand. This is an official lyric video as well. So I will be, analyzing lyrics, analyzing sound. The other thing, along with featuring Moon, who is Pablo's friend, I have met them before. I don't know them very well. I've been told they do screaming on this track, which is really interesting. So they do screaming vocals along with me. Hi, I'm featured on Tomorrow is a Better Day. We'll get into that probably when the album drops. But this is one of those songs where Ember Pablo told me that it's very prog. So I'm interested to hear what this track has to offer in terms of that. So yeah, I am going to press play on it right now. Let's go. You hate what you don't understand. This is the other thing that is needing to be mentioned. Yes, I look at a lot of things from a standpoint of like objective quality. But this is a case where I can't exactly do that because the ideas are bigger than the resources in this instance. I can, but it would just be me being kind of a dick about it. I can't really judge this based off of like purely objective studio quality because this can't be judged that way. This is like a legitimate bedroom musician. Pablo is still, I believe, like junior or I believe Pablo is in junior year of high school. And it's a very interesting case where it's like, this is very much a project that is, this is a bedroom musician, this is a teenager, so it's like, while I can be objective about the concept, like the way it sounds, I don't want to be too harsh because I also have been told that this is like the single version. This isn't the final mix that the song is going to have. I will be judging the album based off of those kinds of merits when we have the full project. This isn't me just trying to be nice for a friend. I have been known to do that in the past. A few years ago, I used to be more pleasant with that sort of a thing. I want to be as objective as possible, but knowing that this is a sort of like demo slash single version of the mix, I'm going to be a bit more pleasant with it. I'm going to be a bit nicer to it, but rest assured, I will be a little bit more critical about it in the proper release version. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. It's Bandcamp production as well, so I can't be too harsh on that either. Bandcamp sucks, by the way. Y'all who use Bandcamp, you're fucking troopers. So okay, let's start this over.
The anxiety is ramping up. Everyone with judgmental faces, needless hatred in so many places. Just because I come some 10 feet away from you.
Moon screams there.
Some 10 feet away from you.
Interesting. So that's the other thing. I know that Moon is, they're set as the screaming vocalist here, and I assume that's them. It's interesting because they're using a very similar technique that a friend of mine, Psychotic Fox, Sammy, Lone Wolf Music, used to use. It's less of technique screaming. I will say that. I'm not going to dissuade that, but I will say it is a very strenuous process to do screaming in that way. Sammy has told me on a pretty frequent basis that the way that they did their screams back then, it's not exactly doable, like suitable for a long-term career. So it's just one of those things where in order to do that correctly, I would say I don't want to judge because I was screaming I started like this when I was younger and starting up my music stuff. So it's this is a case where I can't really talk. But it is a case where it's like I would recommend like at least researching techniques to assist with this screaming style, because there are artists who do this style very well. Poppy is one of them. Her screaming style is very much like actually screaming. But she does it in a very controlled, organic, technical way that isn't just doing it raw in a sense. So I just wanted to bring that up before we go on here. Wow, we're 20 seconds in and we're already 8.5 minutes. That's fucking nuts.
Just because I come some 10 feet away from you. Started out a simple.
I like the kind of vibe we're having here. It's very low key, but there's an intensity in the atmosphere that I'm getting.
Shoving, but now you're really hurting me. Suddenly I'm seeing double. Still I'll be the one in trouble. You made me feel uncomfortable in my own skin. Smiling.
What the fuck just happened?
Made me feel. You made me feel uncomfortable in my own skin. Smiling with this hate you give. And
was that we're doing the prog thing. We went we just went from minor to major, no? Because this is major. We're already doing the major to minor shifts. I almost want to say we've gone a semitone up for the chorus. That's interesting because the vibe shifted so hard. Like, listen to this.
Shoving, but now you're really hurting me.
To
Skin, smiling with this hate you give, and making me feel like a.
yeah, that's at least a major to minor shift. At least. That's interesting. I was not like, yes, Pablo told me it was gonna be proggy. I didn't expect this proggy right away. Interesting.
Worthless weakling, can't you see this is agonizing?
And it's interesting because the transition up was a little bit jarring. I will admit, like the transition into that chorus was a little bit jarring, but the transition back down is very seamless. I am gonna use a comparison here, and it's not gonna be one that everybody will particularly like. I don't like that I'm making this comparison myself, because it's about a band, specifically a vocalist that I'm not exactly a fan of right now. Disturbed. I'm gonna use them as an example. There's a track called "Hey You" from their last album. The last album, Divisive, it came out in 2022, I think. I think that was 2022. Yeah, I think that was 2022. The chorus had a semitone upshift that it felt very jarring to listen to, especially on first listen, like going into said chorus. But going back down out of that chorus was actually very seamless in Hey You. Very similar here. Now, I'm not comparing Disturbed to Oblivious here. Not a great fan of Mr. Draymond right now. He's made some very, shall we say, tactless decisions as of more recently. But I wanted to talk about that here because that's a really interesting aspect of this song and how it's structured already. So let's get back into it. We're a minute in. Jesus fucking Christ.
I can't escape it when I'm home. There's threats upon my life now, and they don't care when I reach out. Why can't you stop wasting time on my flaws? I really want to cry, but why won't my tears spill at all? I need help, but my friend won't answer the call. All because you made him think I went crazy. You made me feel uncomfortable in my own skin. Smiling with this hate you give, and making me feel like a worthless weakling. Can't you see this is agonizing?
Yeah, this is such an interesting structure. Well, we are at the end of the second chorus, and we're exactly 2 minutes in. This is such a wild structure. Like it's seamless between, or like from section to section, and like the lyrics too. This is a really interesting part. Verse 4. I really want to cry, but why won't my tears spill at all? I need help, but my friend won't answer the call, all because you made him think I went crazy. This is a song. I think it's pretty obvious what the song is talking about. It's about bullying. Pretty. Wow, something is weird with that. Okay, weird. Sorry. But yeah, this is a song about bullying. And specifically, given my conversations with Ember Pablo, I'm still not exactly really sure which to refer to you as in this kind of a stance. But this is very much a case of like where it's something I can relate to. I got a firm diagnosis that I'm not. But I firmly believe that I am not a neurotypical person. This channel is as much proof as anybody can get that I'm not neurotypical. It's a case where in school I had a very difficult time with just people in general because I displayed a lot of not so neurotypical tendencies. Which in a school full of people who are trying to figure themselves out, they take that out on people who are less far along in that than others. It's very much a case of like the humming, like this. Where is it? Just because I hum some 10 feet away from you. Yeah, this line hits me like a fucking freight train because the way that I communicated in my school a lot of the time was through like music. It was either music or writing that I communicated with back then. To an extent, that's still what I do now. But it's very, very much a case where it's like that line hits me like an absolute freight train because this is exactly what I dealt with. But this is an interesting one for me because I don't know what this is referencing. Need help. My friend won't answer the call all because you made him think I went crazy. Is that kind of an instance where like friends with someone and then like people are like spreading the shit and it's like they led that person to fall astray, like not be a friend anymore? That's something that happens with kids a fair lot. Just being cruel for the sake of being cruel to make themselves feel higher in a state where they're not feeling so high themselves. That's just what kids do a lot of the time. I'll kind of say that. But yeah, this is really interesting so far. I'm liking the kind of vibe that it gives. And again, we're super interesting in terms of these choruses. So let's keep going.
This is agonizing. Swept under the rug, they don't care about us. No matter how we prove you're not the one to entrust. I must get out of this room before my happiness dies. When I step out of the room,
we're building to something.
I realize that I was misled. You're too hard of a friend, and I know you hide an ulterior motive you can't understand. So all you do is hate us.
Oh shit, we're getting the good stuff. So this is something that Ember told me about. That they got like an official interface plugin for their guitar, which previously they didn't have. So I'm curious to see what kind of wacky guitar shit they get up to now, because they didn't have the ability to do that before. So let's rewind this bridge back, because these lyrics are also interesting.
Under the rug, they don't care about us. No matter how we prove you're not the one to entrust. I must get out of this room before my happiness dies. When I step out of the room, I will realize that I was misled. You're too hard of a friend, and I know you hide an ulterior motive you can't understand. So all you do is hate us.
Ooh. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Wow. That was a crazy fucking solo. That's the other thing. Like, again, Ember is younger. They're still a teenager, but like, fucking absolute unit of a player. Some of the stuff that they've shown in VCs and some of the stuff I've seen, I believe it's like in shorts that they've posted, or maybe it's their Insta Reels. I'm not exactly sure, but like, Ember's an absolute unit of a player. For those of you who don't know, like, go support, because like, I'm genuinely really excited for Tomorrow Is a Better Day, because I know that this album is going to be quite a step up from anything that they've ever done before. And like, the ability to support this person in what they're doing right now is the best thing you can do, because that'll just help them get their skills better than ever before. And that solo was nuts. That's a great solo. I'm gonna rewind that whole thing back. Yeah, that's a 30-minute solo section right there. Yeah, that's a 30-second solo. And it just keeps going too. I love this like boo-ta beat. Like we got the boo-tas. We got that 4 on the floor feel. Yeah, that just kept going. That just kept going. That was really cool. That was awesome. Then the bass. Woo! Since we having fun. Was that another semitone up? We're having fun. We're having prog fun. We're having fun. We're having fun.
But I'll get up. I'm not scared. I wanna lash out and scream, but I'm a bigger person than that. You made me feel uncomfortable in my own skin. Smiling with
I was right. It was a semitone up. That was another semitone shift.
this hate you give, and making me feel like a worthless weakling. If you could see me now, it would be agonizing.
Ooh. Are we ending it off this way? Interesting. I will admit, this is not how I expected this track to go. That was interesting. That was different than I thought it would be. We're gonna position you guys a little bit more over here for this. But yeah, that was cool. That was a lot different than I thought it would be. But something about it. There was just something about it. I don't know how to accurately describe that. It felt very spacey. Very different, I would say, stylistically from the title track that I reacted to 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago is fucking insane to say, by the way. But yeah, that was interesting. I liked it. For sure. It was it was a nice little trip into the mind of a creator. Now, I wanted to bring this up. Why is this? Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, I wanted to, I'm actually gonna go to, instead of this screen, I'll go to this one. So yeah, we have 13 tracks. Yeah. So instead of the 17 that I thought, yeah, because a bunch of these were combined together. Because I believe that Tardy Sweep and Friends in the Back was going to be 2, and then these, like, I don't remember exactly, but I remember this album being quite a bit longer in terms of its track list. So I'm curious to see what this album brings, like, stylistically. It does say, like, attempts track by track eclecticism, alternative pop rock to progressive metal, which is, yeah. Yeah, I'm just interested to see what this album brings, because while I am on it, I am very much not someone who is in the know about everything that's in here. So I'm just curious to see if this is more representative of the total album, or if the title track is, or if there's something else that's coming along that'll be more representative. But I am going to say that is going to do it for me. I have been Winter, and we have reacted to Ulterior Motive, also known as You Hate What You Don't Understand, from the Oblivious. If you like what you saw, leave likes, comments, all that happy jazz. That's about it for me. Peace, everybody. In due time.